Chosen one, you didn't just happen to click on this video. This video was sent to find you. There's something you need to hear, something that will change the way you see what's happening in your life right now. By the end of this message, you will clearly understand the signs God is showing you, and you will know exactly how to discern truth from deception in your relationships. Keep watching, because the last revelation is the most powerful. And if you feel that tug in your spirit, it's because this was meant for you. This moment is not ordinary. You're standing on the edge of a supernatural shift. The doors you've been knocking on, they're about to open. The waiting is turning into receiving, and as a chosen one, you're stepping into a new dimension of grace and glory. There's a reason your soul was drawn here. You're stepping into a higher version of yourself, led by divine wisdom. But first, let's activate this journey with one small act of faith. Click the like button if your spirit agrees with this word. That one moment of faith helps multiply the reach of this divine message and awaken other hearts. Don't just watch, belong. Subscribe to stay connected to this movement of faith, where every message is guided by the Holy Spirit to strengthen, equip, and transform your life. Comment 222 as your way of saying, I agree with heaven. I'm aligned with God's timing and ready for my next move. Share one thing you need prayer for today in the comments. Then be a blessing to someone else by responding to their request with faith and love. Don't wait. Comment your prayer request now and take part in this powerful chain of faith. If this message blessed you and you'd like to give back, you can also consider becoming a member. It's completely optional. Every contribution, no matter how small, goes a long way in helping this channel continue sharing God's word. Chosen one, have you ever experienced that unsettling tremor beneath the surface of seemingly pleasant interactions? Have you ever felt a subtle, almost imperceptible chill, even amidst the warmth of a seemingly genuine smile? A nagging dissonance, like a discordant note in a beautiful melody, between the honeyed words of affection and the subtle yet persistent undercurrent of their actions. If you have, know this with unwavering certainty: you are profoundly and irrevocably not alone. Countless souls traverse the landscapes of their lives wearing what can only be described as spiritual blinders, unable or perhaps unwilling to perceive the lurking shadows that often dance just beneath the polished veneer of human relationships. They, in their trusting hearts, often mistake mere politeness for the profound depths of genuine affection, and tragically confuse the comfortable familiarity of proximity with the unwavering anchor of true loyalty. They are akin to those innocent souls who once strolled through the idyllic Garden of Eden, their ears unable to discern the serpent's insidious voice, a whisper of deceit slithering through the breathtaking beauty of paradise. Just as the devoted disciples of Jesus, despite their close proximity to divine wisdom, struggled to fully grasp and internalize his poignant warnings about impending betrayal from within their very circle, so too do many today remain tragically oblivious to the subtle yet potent signs of hidden animosity, even, and perhaps especially, from those who occupy the closest circles of their lives. They find themselves perpetually ensnared in bewildering cycles of confusion, repeatedly experiencing the sting of hurt and disappointment, constantly wrestling with the perplexing question of why love, in their experience, feels so conditional, so fragile, and so often fleeting. But take heart, chosen one, for today marks a pivotal turning point. Today, that debilitating cycle is destined to shatter. Today, the heavy veil that has obscured your spiritual vision begins to lift, gently, at first but with increasing clarity. You are being divinely summoned to cultivate new eyes, eyes that can pierce through superficial facades and perceive the heart's true intentions. You are being called to attune your spiritual ears to a higher frequency, ears that can discern the subtle whispers of truth amidst the clamor of worldly noise. You are being empowered to awaken your innate discernment, that divine gift within you, so that you may finally grasp the truth that has been patiently, persistently whispered in the realm of the Spirit. The profound, often uncomfortable, truth about those who outwardly profess to love you, yet whose innermost hearts, unbeknownst to you, may harbor shadows of something far darker, something that seeks to diminish, to undermine, or even to harm your spirit. Some revelations, especially those that promise to reshape the very foundations of our understanding, are not meant to be rushed through in haste. They require a quiet stillness, a contemplative space where the seeds of truth can take root and flourish. If you feel a stirring within you, a deep resonance with these unfolding truths, and desire to delve into these profound concepts with greater depth and intentionality, then I wholeheartedly invite you to explore the ebook, The 10 Hidden Truths of Jesus' Parables. This is not merely a collection of biblical interpretations. It is a treasure trove of divine strategies, meticulously crafted to guide you on your journey toward living a life imbued with purpose and meaning, to empower you with practical wisdom for managing your resources, both tangible and intangible, and to offer you a pathway to profound emotional and spiritual restoration. This special edition, brimming with insights and revelations, is available for a limited time, a window of opportunity divinely orchestrated for those who are ready to receive. The link to access this transformative resource is conveniently placed in the very first comment below this video. Consider it a spiritual compass, a lantern illuminating your path forward. Now, chosen one, with hearts open and spirits receptive, let us embark together on a guided journey through the essential steps, toward achieving clear spiritual vision, toward cultivating the invaluable gift of spiritual discernment. This is your personal odyssey into the realm of truth, a pilgrimage of the soul that promises to liberate you from the shackles of deception and usher you into a new era of clarity and authenticity. That subtle, yet persistent, unsettling feeling that arises within you during certain interactions, that persistent nagging doubt that whispers at the edges of your conscious awareness, often dismissed as mere anxiety or overthinking. Listen closely, chosen one, and understand this profound truth. It is emphatically not paranoia. It is not the product of an overactive imagination or a tendency towards negativity. It is, in fact, the sacred language of your spirit, your innermost, being sensing, with a clarity that often surpasses the rational mind, what your conscious mind may be actively attempting to ignore, rationalize, or dismiss. Just as the young Samuel, in the hallowed halls of the temple, heard the unmistakable voice of the Lord calling out to him, even while the experienced priest Eli, with his years of spiritual training, initially failed to recognize the divine summons, so too is your intuition, often the very first messenger of truth, a subtle yet unwavering compass guiding you through the labyrinth of human interactions. Pay meticulous attention, chosen one, to those seemingly insignificant, subtle inconsistencies that surface in your relationships. Notice a compliment that, despite its surface sweetness, feels inexplicably laced with a subtle undercurrent of sarcasm, a veiled jab disguised as praise. Observe an offer of help that, while presented as selfless generosity, subtly comes with strings attached, unspoken expectations that feel more like burdens than blessings. Be aware of patterns of behavior that, while not overtly hostile, consistently and subtly undermine your progress, your joy, or your sense of self-worth. These are not mere coincidences, random occurrences devoid of meaning. They are, in fact, whispers from the divine realm, gentle nudges from the Holy Spirit, lovingly guiding you towards clarity, towards a deeper understanding of the true nature of the relationships in your life. Your intuition is not a frivolous feeling to be disregarded. It is a sacred instrument, divinely calibrated to guide you towards truth and protect you from harm. Learn to listen to its gentle promptings, for within these whispers lies a profound wisdom that can illuminate your path and safeguard your spirit. Consider the biblical example of Joseph, whose intuitive understanding of his dreams, though initially perplexing to others, ultimately guided him through years of hardship and eventually led to the salvation of his family and an entire nation. Your intuition, like Joseph's dreams, is a gift, a divine compass entrusted to you. It is undeniably painful, deeply and profoundly so, to even entertain the possibility that someone you hold dear in your heart, someone you have entrusted with, your vulnerability and affection might, in the hidden recesses of their heart, harbor feelings of animosity, resentment, or even hate towards you. Denial in such emotionally charged situations is a natural, almost instinctive defense mechanism. It is the mind's attempt to shield itself from the potential pain of confronting a harsh reality, a psychological buffer against the discomfort of disillusionment. But understand this crucial principle, chosen one. While denial may offer temporary solace, it is ultimately a prison, a gilded cage that confines you to a false reality, preventing you from accessing true freedom and authentic connection. Remember the Apostle Peter, one of Jesus' closest and most devoted disciples, who vehemently refused to believe Jesus' stark prophecy of his impending suffering, betrayal, and crucifixion. Peter, in his love and loyalty, could not fathom such darkness befalling his beloved teacher. He vehemently denied the possibility, blinded by his own desires and expectations. Similarly, we often resist truths that challenge our comfortable narratives, truths that disrupt the carefully constructed illusions we have built around our relationships. Acknowledge the possibility, chosen one, gently and with courage. Open your heart, not to embrace negativity, but to embrace truth in its entirety, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is painful. Open your heart to the idea that not every smile that graces your presence is necessarily genuine, that not every word of affirmation spoken in your direction is necessarily sincere, that not every act of kindness is necessarily rooted in pure motives. This is not cynicism, chosen one. It is not a descent into negativity or a hardening of your heart. It is, in its essence, spiritual maturity, a hallmark of those who are committed to walking in truth and light. It is the courageous act of facing reality as it truly is, stripped of wishful thinking and rose-tinted lenses, rather than clinging to the comforting but ultimately deceptive facade of how you wish it to be. It is about embracing the wisdom inherent in discernment, allowing you to navigate relationships with greater clarity, wisdom, and protection. Just as a doctor must accurately diagnose an illness before effective healing can begin, so too must you acknowledge the presence of potential darkness before you can step into the light of true understanding and authentic connection. When faced with the perplexing shadows of potential deception in your relationships, it is crucial to understand the nature of your prayer, the focus of your supplication to the divine. Do not merely pray for the situation to magically transform, for the uncomfortable truths to simply vanish, or for the individuals involved to suddenly change their hearts and behaviors to align with your desires. Instead, chosen one, elevate your prayer to a higher plane, a realm of deeper spiritual seeking. Pray fervently with unwavering faith for your own eyes to be opened, for the veils of illusion to be lifted, for the inner vision of your spirit to be sharpened and clarified. Invoke the image of blind Bartimaeus, who despite his physical blindness possessed a profound spiritual sight, recognizing Jesus as the Messiah and crying out with unwavering faith, "Lord, I want to see." Emulate his fervent plea, Ask God, with the same intensity and unwavering belief, to illuminate the hidden places, to shine His divine light into the shadowy corners of your relationships, to reveal the unseen motives that may be lurking beneath the surface of words and actions. Pray specifically for the spirit of discernment, that divine gift that empowers you to distinguish with clarity and precision between what is inherently true and what is ultimately false, between what originates from the wellspring of genuine love and what emanates from the depths of darkness. This is not about aggressively demanding answers from God, as if dictating terms to the divine. It is about the humble act of surrendering your ego's need to control the narrative, to dictate the outcome, to impose your own limited understanding onto a situation that may be far more complex than you perceive. It's about the profound act of inviting divine truth to prevail in your life, trusting that God's wisdom surpasses your own and that His guidance will ultimately lead you to a place of greater clarity, peace, and spiritual well-being. Remember the prayer of King David, "Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things from your law." Psalm 119:18. This is the essence of praying for discernment, asking God to unveil the spiritual realities that are often hidden from our natural senses, allowing us to see with His eyes and understand with His heart. As you embark on this journey of spiritual discernment, it is essential to cultivate a posture of detachment from the desired outcome. It is natural to yearn for a specific resolution, to hope, perhaps desperately, to be proven wrong in your intuitive inklings, to long for the comforting embrace of the illusion, to wish that the shadows you perceive are merely figments of your imagination. However, true spiritual freedom, the liberation that your soul deeply craves, ultimately lies in your willingness to embrace truth in its purest, unadulterated form, regardless of whether that truth aligns with your desires or shatters your preconceived notions, regardless of whether it brings immediate comfort or initially evokes pain and discomfort. Emulate the unwavering surrender of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where, facing immense suffering and betrayal, He prayed not for an escape from His destined path, but for the strength to accept God's will, even if that will involve profound heartbreak and unimaginable sacrifice. Pray similarly, chosen one, for the spiritual fortitude to detach from your desired outcome, to release your grip on the need for things to be a certain way, and to cultivate a deep, unwavering willingness to see the reality of the situation, whatever that reality may ultimately be. This detachment is not indifference, chosen one. It is not a callous disregard for the emotions and relationships involved. It is, in its highest form, spiritual courage, the valiant act of prioritizing truth above comfort, of choosing clarity over delusion, of valuing spiritual integrity above emotional ease. It is the recognition that true and lasting peace is not found in clinging to illusions, but in courageously confronting reality, even when it is challenging, and allowing divine truth to guide your steps forward. Just as a skilled surgeon must detach emotionally from the pain they inflict while performing life-saving surgery, so too must you detach from your emotional preferences to allow the scalpel of truth to operate, removing the spiritual obstructions that hinder your growth and well-being. This detachment is an act of profound love for yourself, love for truth, and love for the divine plan unfolding in your life. In the realm of human interaction, words, while possessing the power to inspire and uplift, can also, unfortunately, be skillfully crafted instruments of deception, carefully chosen to mask ulterior motives, to conceal hidden agendas, and to paint a picture that deviates significantly from the underlying reality. Actions, on the other hand, possess an inherent honesty, a profound transparency that transcends the often deceptive nature of language. Actions, in their raw and unfiltered form, invariably betray the true condition of the heart, revealing the authentic motivations and underlying intentions that words may attempt to conceal. Remember the timeless wisdom of Jesus' profound teaching. By their fruits you will know them. Matthew 7:20. This is not merely a metaphorical statement. It's a fundamental principle of spiritual discernment, a practical guide for navigating the complexities of human relationships. Chosen one, consciously and intentionally shift your focus. Stop relying solely on the seductive allure of eloquent words, the comforting reassurance of verbal affirmations, or the superficial charm of outward expressions. Instead, train your spiritual eyes to become keen observers of actions, to meticulously scrutinize the patterns of behavior that consistently manifest in your relationships. Ask yourself these probing questions. Do their actions consistently align with the loving and supportive words they profess? Do they genuinely celebrate your successes, rejoicing in your growth and achievements? Or do they subtly, perhaps unconsciously, undermine them with veiled criticisms, envious remarks, or a lack of genuine enthusiasm? Do they offer genuine, unconditional support during times of need? Or is their acceptance conditional, contingent upon your adherence to their expectations or your conformity to their desires? Actions are the truest, most reliable indicators of the heart's inner condition, the unshakable evidence that reveals the depth and sincerity of another's intentions. Just as a tree is ultimately judged by the quality and abundance of its fruit, so too are individuals ultimately revealed by the consistency and character of their actions. Observe the fruit, chosen one, and you will discern the true nature of the root. Look beyond the carefully curated facade of words and delve into the revealing language of actions. For within this observation lies the key to unlocking truth and navigating your relationships with wisdom and discernment. Once you have courageously begun to perceive the truth, once the scales of illusion have started to fall from your spiritual eyes and you have gained a clearer understanding of the dynamics at play in your relationships, it becomes absolutely imperative that you take proactive steps to protect your spirit, to safeguard your emotional and spiritual well-being from further harm or manipulation. Just as Nehemiah, the steadfast leader, diligently and strategically rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem, not as an act of aggression, but as a vital measure to safeguard the sacred city and its inhabitants from external threats, so too must you consciously and intentionally build spiritual boundaries around your heart and mind, creating a protective enclosure that shields your inner sanctuary from negativity, toxicity, and spiritual encroachment. This involves a deliberate and discerning process of limiting your exposure to sources of negativity, identifying and minimizing contact with individuals who consistently exhibit toxic behaviors, and consciously creating emotional and physical distance from patterns of interaction that drain your energy, diminish your spirit, or undermine your sense of self-worth. This is not about constructing impenetrable walls of isolation, cutting yourself off from human connection, or retreating into a fortress of solitude. Rather, it is about the wise and loving act of creating a sanctuary for your spirit to thrive, a nurturing and supportive inner space where you can replenish your energy, cultivate inner peace, and nurture your spiritual growth without being constantly bombarded by negativity or subjected to harmful influences. Think of it as tending a sacred garden within your soul, carefully weeding out the toxic plants of negativity and cultivating the life-giving flowers of love, peace, and joy. Spiritual boundaries are not barriers to love. They are, in fact, expressions of self-love, acts of profound respect for your own spiritual well-being, and essential measures for cultivating healthy and balanced relationships. Just as a gardener carefully fences their garden to protect it from encroaching weeds and destructive animals, so too must you establish spiritual boundaries to protect your inner garden from negativity and ensure the flourishing of your spirit. Forgiveness, chosen one, is not merely a noble ideal or a lofty spiritual concept. It is an absolute essential for your own personal healing, a vital key to unlocking emotional liberation and stepping into a future unburdened by the weight of resentment and bitterness. Like Joseph, the biblical patriarch who, after enduring years of betrayal and hardship at the hands of his own brothers, ultimately chose to forgive them with profound grace and compassion. You too must actively and intentionally release the grip of resentment and bitterness that may be festering within your heart. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior or minimizing the pain you have experienced. It is not about excusing injustice or pretending that wounds do not exist. Rather, forgiveness is a profoundly personal act, a courageous decision to release the emotional chains that bind you to the past, to liberate yourself from the toxic cycle of anger and resentment that ultimately harms you far more than it harms the person who may have wronged you. However, and this is a crucial distinction, forgiveness does not necessitate forgetting the valuable lessons embedded within the pain. Forgiveness does not demand that you erase the experiences from your memory or pretend that the wounds never existed. Instead, embrace the wisdom that can be gleaned from these challenging experiences. Introspectively discern the patterns of behavior that contributed to the hurtful dynamics. Recognize the red flags, the subtle warning signs that you may have previously overlooked or dismissed. Cultivate the invaluable wisdom that emerges from your wounds, allowing these experiences to refine your discernment, strengthen your intuition, and equip you with the knowledge and insight necessary to protect yourself from similar situations in the future. Forgive, chosen one, primarily and profoundly for your own sake, for the sake of your own healing and spiritual liberation. But simultaneously, allow the hard-earned truths you have gained to serve as a guiding light, illuminating your path forward and empowering you to navigate future relationships with greater wisdom, discernment, and self-awareness. Just as a doctor learns from each patient, refining their skills and deepening their understanding, so too can you learn from each relationship, transforming painful experiences into valuable lessons that contribute to your spiritual growth and well-being. Chosen one, this very moment as you absorb these truths is akin to your own personal Damascus Road experience, a transformative encounter with divine revelation that irrevocably alters the course of your spiritual journey. The scales of illusion are, in this very instant, beginning to fall from your eyes, allowing you to see with a clarity and precision that you may have never before experienced. The truth that has been hidden, veiled beneath layers of deception and misdirection, is now being unveiled, gently but powerfully, illuminating your path forward. This is not a moment of condemnation, chosen one. It is not a time for self-recrimination or judgment. It is, in its essence, a moment of profound liberation, a divine invitation to step out of the shadows of confusion and into the radiant light of truth. For far too long, you may have walked in a spiritual shadow, questioning your own perceptions, doubting your intuition, and second-guessing your inner knowing. But now, in this very moment, the light of divine truth is breaking through, dispelling the darkness and illuminating the path ahead. This moment is not about assigning blame or wallowing in bitterness. It is about divine confirmation, a sacred validation of the whispers of your spirit, a resounding affirmation of the intuitive nudges you have been sensing. God, in His infinite love and wisdom, is revealing this truth to you because He cherishes you deeply and desires to set you free from the shackles of deception, to liberate you from the cycles of confusion and hurt that may have held you captive. For too long, this is your Red Sea parting, chosen one, your wilderness wandering drawing to a close. Step boldly, with unwavering faith and renewed hope, into the radiant light of truth. Step confidently into the liberating freedom of clear, Spiritual seeing. Your breakthrough is not just on the horizon, not merely a future possibility. It is here, it is now, it is present in this very moment of profound revelation. Tonight, before you surrender to the embrace of sleep, take a moment of quiet reflection and offer this powerful prayer, speaking it from the depths of your heart. I release all confusion that has clouded my vision. I release all doubt that has whispered in my mind. I embrace divine truth with open arms and a receptive heart. And I trust with unwavering faith that clarity and divine protection are now and forevermore my unwavering reality. Now, chosen one, do not simply depart from this sacred space without actively participating in this divine movement of faith and transformation. Take a moment to comment below, sharing one specific area of your life for which you are currently seeking prayerful support. And then, extend your hand in faith and compassion, replying to at least one other person's comment, offering words of encouragement, lifting them up in prayer, and showering them with the unwavering light of your faith and love. The power of collective faith, the synergistic energy generated when hearts unite in prayer, is profoundly real, and miracles, both subtle and significant, unfold when we come together in unity and purpose. If this message has resonated deeply within your heart, if it has spoken to the innermost chambers of your soul and sparked a flame of hope and understanding, please do not keep this transformative message confined to yourself. Consider the countless souls you know, individuals who may be grappling with similar struggles, yearning for clarity and seeking liberation from the shadows of deception. Share this video generously, extending its reach to those who need it most. And for your own continued spiritual nourishment and growth, subscribe to this channel, ensuring that you never miss another divine revelation, another message of hope, guidance, and transformation. And finally, if you feel a stirring within you, a gentle prompting to contribute to this mission of spreading light and truth, there are two profoundly impactful ways in which you can lend your support. Firstly, consider becoming a channel member, joining a vibrant community of faith-filled individuals who are committed to growth, transformation, and collective upliftment. Your membership, even the smallest contribution, directly fuels the growth of this community, enabling us to reach even more hearts with messages of faith, hope, and divine empowerment. Membership is entirely optional, offered as a pathway for those who feel called to partner more deeply in this work. Secondly, you have the option to send a super thanks, a gesture of generosity that directly supports the ongoing ministry of this channel. Every contribution, regardless of its size, strengthens this channel immensely, providing the resources necessary to continue diligently spreading God's word to those who need it most, to those who are seeking light in darkness, and to those who are yearning for spiritual nourishment. Thank you, chosen one, from the depths of my heart, for being an integral part of this divine movement, for your willingness to receive this message, and for your commitment to walking in truth and light. You are, each and every one of you, a profound and precious blessing.